So, the overall idea is very easy, but it has some small but difficult challenges. First off, we want to pay attention to where the tornado looks like it's going. If the tornado looks like it's at a standstill, then it's headed for you. However, if you see any side-to-side motion of the tornado, you need to reposition for a better placement. Another thing you have to keep in mind is the size, significance, location, and consistency of the tornado. For example, a smaller, shiftier Sidewinder, you're going to want to be much closer before putting a probe down for the extra reassurance that your probe is going to fit inside the tornado. For a larger, stronger tornado, you're going to want to place your probe further up, since it has a much higher chance of taking water too. And for the location of the tornado, if there's lots of room for the tornado to get more probes down, then it's a good idea to periodically probe on one road per time. Or if there is not as much space, it's a good idea to get down multiple probes in one spot. Thinking of probes, you want to get those money clusters. You should probably look into those, don't you think? Twisted has a large array of different types of probes, but honestly, we can render all of them useless except for four. Four probes you want to concern yourself with: Twistex Tower Probe, HITPR Turtle Camera Probe, Toto, and Dorothy. Toto, Dorothy, and the Twistex Tower Probe all have relatively the same return on investment, but the time it takes to do so varies. The Dorothy probe is going to have the most help but the least dollars per second, while the Twistex Tower Probe is the opposite, and the Toto is the opposite. It makes sense for the Toto actually has a much higher return on investment than any other probe. The main difference is that it takes so much longer to do so. The best way to use the turtle probes is reserving them for large violent tornadoes, so you get the most use out of them as fast as you can. Otherwise, my personal favorite is the Twistex Tower Probe. However, if you're low on money, Toto or Dorothy are great alternatives. But that reminds me, probes aren't the only way to read wind speeds. Let's take a look at vehicle customization, and more importantly, mesonettes. In order to actually customize any of your vehicles, you need to locate a mechanic shop, which is symbolized by the wrench icon on the map. Once you pull up to the mechanic shop, if it's a Tomcat Performance location, you can either pull into the front garages, or for larger vehicles, you can drive around back. At the TIV2Guy Radar Technologies location, you can pull into any of the garage doors. Once you're inside, you can press whatever button the prompt tells you to open the garage. Now that you're in the garage, you'll see a couple of menus. One of them is the stats card we are already familiar with from the vehicles menu, which adjusts the stats to preview your changes. Then on the right side of the screen, there's the vehicle's modifications menu, featuring 3 areas of the vehicle that you can change. Let's start with the most basic one, maintenance. In the maintenance tab, your vehicle will have 4 different categories: body, wheels, suspension, and engine. The blue bar represents how full the health of each category is, and the color of the button represents the status. A red button means it is fully repaired, a green button means it's selected to be repaired, and a blue button means it's not selected. Like I said, this is the most simple menu here, and that's all there is to it. Now onto the body modifications menu. This menu is also fairly simple, with only 2 things going on here. On every dealership vehicle, you can change the color to any of these preset colors featured on the left, and if you have the custom color key pass, you can choose the RGB color or put in hex codes like 8-bit